Okay, so hi everyone. Good evening to all of you. So, first of all, I think when you're trying to go into research in physics and astronomy, the first thing that you need to do is gather a lot of knowledge, gather knowledge about what all fields are present there. And the best way to do that, I think, is by referring to textbooks. Okay, not a very beautiful idea, but yeah, this is something that you have to do. And this is something that's going to help you a lot in the long run. So I've mentioned a couple of textbooks over here. These textbooks, for example, for classical mechanics by John R. Taylor, this one is very basic, and these textbooks are something that were suggested to me by my seniors. So I'm suggesting it to you. And you don't need to like cram up entire textbooks. That's not the way to go about it. But you should just be, familiar with what all ideas are there in these textbooks. For example, for electromagnetism and special relativity, you can refer Griffiths. And there's another book by Griffiths for quantum mechanics and particle physics. These are some of the very broad categories which you should have an idea about. For example, if you're studying astronomy, so in astronomy you need to be you need to have a very good command on your physics. You need to be familiar with thermodynamics, you need to be familiar with electromagnetism. So this is a good place to start. Also, this was very important for us, for people like me and Aditi, because we didn't have any option of minoring in physics, right? But you guys do have that. So choose your courses wisely. And if you have not taken any course, then you can refer these textbooks. Okay. After this, apart from textbook knowledge, you can also look up at a lot of online materials that are available. For example, there's MIT OCW, and that really leaves no room for anything that's not there. Everything is there, and you can also take a course called computational physics, which is offered by the physics department. uh, it's a very very good course, and introduces you to Python, and a lot of computation that goes around in astronomy is based on Python. So don't miss these chances. Just like Aditi said, be an opportunist. Okay. After that, one of the questions that was asked to me was which all research internships are available, right? So I've categorized them like this. Okay, so in India, these are the major research internships that are available to all of you. So I'll be passing on the link to this presentation later, and you can basically just click on these, and yeah, you can get to know more about these programs. But for research internships abroad, there are actually a lot of opportunities available. So I've given a link to a web page which I found, which basically lists out all the research opportunities abroad, in like depending on the country, like in Australia, in UK, in Canada, in USA. All of the programs are listed over here. So that's a really nice way to know about all of the opportunities out there. Right. Next step is cold mailing, and I think Aditi explained most of the things over here. But okay, so resort to cold mailing only if your program asks you to do so. For example, in my internship, we were first asked to find a mentor who was willing to do research with us. So the first step naturally was cold mailing. So there I had to do that, right? But apart from that, I was also cold mailing to a lot more professors from where I got rejected, and all of that. All of those things are going to happen. You have to accept the probability that yes, you're going to fail first, and then after a lot of failing, you're going to get something, right? So uh, resort to cold mailing only if you're interested in working with a particular professor, or if the program asks you to do so. Okay, don't mail out of desperation, because I've done that and I think everybody does that at some point of time. But try not to. Okay. Okay, so reach out to only those professors whose research interests you, which is very important. When you find, okay, so this can be a little hard in second year or in third year, like you, because you don't know which research area interests you, right? But it's okay to not know these things, because you're just in second year. You basically have a field which has an abundance of opportunities, and you naturally won't be able to pick a particular thing unless you know a lot about the field, right? So uh, if there is a broad field, like I was interested in quantum mechanics, I was interested in astronomy, if there are broad fields like that, just go ahead and mail people. It's okay. You don't need to be very specific. Nobody expects you to know a lot at this stage. Okay, so but make sure that the people you're mailing to, you read their websites thoroughly. Okay, just make sure that that particular professor is not going on a sabbatical for like 3 years, so there won't be much point mailing that person, right? And all of the professors, almost all of the professors, have their web pages these days, and all of them also provide a link to their publications. So you don't need to read entire publications or entire papers. You you in general, you won't be able to understand much of that. Okay, but just read the abstract, because abstracts are something that are laid out in a very simple manner that even a layman can understand, and good abstracts are like that. Okay, so once you know that much about a professor, you can tailor the mail accordingly. You can, because for example, when I was mailing the professor that accepted me, on his webpage it was written that I respect hard work, I do this, I do that, like some motors. But so that really helped me to get an idea about what kind of person he is. Okay, so those things can really help you. Also, understand that the professors you're mailing are very busy people, and to not be emotional in the mail, to not do all of those things that are irrelevant or unprofessional. They won't entertain all of that. Okay, now strong points are different for everybody. It can be your grades, uh, it can be your passion, it can be your hard work, it can be your experience. So make sure to highlight your strong points. Okay, that. And obviously, I don't think you need to be told this, but be very genuine and honest. Don't say that you know something when you don't. And even during the interviews, because for me, it was like the professor asked his postdoctoral fellow to take my interview. I was very honest. And honesty does not mean being inconfident, right? If you don't know something, just be straightforward about it. That I don't know this. You can ask for references in the mail. Uh, like if like when they tell you that okay, they want to schedule an interview with you, you can just ask for references that you can read about, and they'll be happy to provide you that. Also, make LaTeX resumes. If you don't want to, then you can go to this link and read up why I want you to do this. Okay, resumes are not just something that give information about what you've done till now, but they are also something that tell the other person how you are presenting your information. And presentation, I think, is also important at that point of time. And I really didn't know about attaching mail trackers. I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, thanks, Aditi. And the Google Drive idea is really good. You should definitely do that. Okay. Also, be patient because these things take time from their side. So if you're applying abroad, I think you should at least give 2 weeks for that person to reply to you. After 2 weeks, you can follow up. I've never sent a follow up email in my life. Uh, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing that I haven't, but I think I need to start doing that. And you should at least allow 2 weeks, I think, if it's somewhere abroad. In India, I think 1 week or 10 days should be enough. Okay. So after cold mailing, we have some other stuff to remember for internships, right? So before applying anywhere, during the start of the semester, have a copy of your official transcripts, because transcripts, as you may already know, take 25 days at the very least. That's almost a month. And you don't want to apply for your transcripts at a later stage. Do this at the start of every semester. Okay. Also arrange for 2 to 3 recommendation letters from people, from professors that who actually know you. Okay. And if yeah, that's there. Also, if you're applying somewhere abroad, do not wait to get a passport till the last day, or when you get your okay that you're invited here. Don't wait for those kinds of things. If you're applying abroad, and even if you have very little hope, get a passport. Okay, because it's not going to hurt. Also, this is something that I would tell myself, my 1 year old self, because last year when I was going for my internship, my laptop was not functioning very well because I had battery issues, and I should have definitely eradicated those issues beforehand, but I did not. So that really got in the way of my research sometimes. So if you're going somewhere, make sure you have all the proper necessities at your disposal. Okay. Also, during the internship, ask more questions, and it's okay to not know everything because no one expects you to. Enjoy a little and connect. Okay, connections are something that are very important, because 1 year later you can be struggling like me, and at that time you'll think that connections would have really helped if you would have connected a little more to the people over there. Okay. If you guys have any questions, we'll take it at the end. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a little perspective about graduate school. So, something that I want to say here is that I do not have any experience applying as of yet. Okay, but I was asked to include this section, so here it goes. So, for graduate school, you need to take the general GRE, the physics GRE, the English proficiency test, uh, like TOEFL, 3 letters of recommendation, statement of purpose, transcripts. Okay, so let's start from the bottom. Transcripts, make sure you get good grades while in college, especially in second and third year. Okay, because grades are something that okay, if you're changing branches, it's still very important. If you want to go into research, it's just important. And make sure you have good grades, at least more than 8.5. Okay. Statement of purpose. Okay, so if when you apply to any university, generally they give you a guideline for writing your statement of purpose, like your statement of purpose should include this and that. So that's not really something that should concern you right now. But yeah, start early, because when you start early, you have a lot of time making changes to it and whatnot. Don't wait till the end to write this document. Okay. Also, 3 letters of recommendations from people who know you. Make sure that these recommendations are good. I don't know how you do that, but yeah. Also, the 3 tests, like the general GRE, physics GRE, and English proficiency test. So the physics GRE is something that is important here. Okay. Uh, if you go to the ETS website, where ETS is the body that conducts GRE, uh, they will tell you that physics GRE happens thrice a year, but that's not true for India. In India, it happens only once every year, and that's in October. Okay, so make sure you are prepared for this. I'll come in the next slide. I have included some links where you can find some resources. Uh, which can help you study for this. Also, general GRE, there's a lot of material available for this, but the one thing that can give you a little hiccup is vocabulary. Okay, so the least you can do to do good in general GRE is start early, start start getting more knowledge about, start expanding your vocabulary. Basically, you can download apps. There are apps for GRE. You can download. Yeah, you can get books, official ETS books, and all of that. So there's no deficiency of material available that is available for general GRE. But yeah, for physics GRE, there's not a lot of materials that is tailored to this specific test. Uh, but yeah, whatever we have, we are going to discuss it here. Right. So these are some of the links that will help you prepare for physics GRE. So one is the official ETS physics GRE practice test. So in this booklet, they tell you what is the syllabus for this test, first of all. Second of all, they tell you how they score this particular test. Okay, because there is a raw score that you obtain first. There's also negative marking, by the way. And also, after that raw score, they give you a scaled score, which is out of 990, I think. Okay, so that's there. And then there is this one book. So there were two MIT grad students who were frustrated with the lack of resources for this exam. So they wrote this book basically, and you should definitely buy this book because it's a must if you want to study for physics GRE. Also, this book does not only give a little content and some questions and some practice tests for GRE, but they also tell you how to actually prepare for it. They give you reference books, like the reference books that I've mentioned before. They give you those regarding all the sections on GRE, and the language of the book is really nice. So that's something that can help. Also, there's this website by Alex Lang. He has a study plan for the physics GRE, along with some of the previous year papers that have been released by ETS, the physics GRE papers. Okay, I don't remember the years exactly, but there's some 5-6 papers, I think, along with their solution sets. So try to take these tests in simulated test conditions. Also, there's this page which provides a lot of links useful for GRE. Also, Sean Carroll, he has some advice for people who want to attend graduate school. So he has this set of articles called the Unsolicited Advice. So it has part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, I think. And it's a really good read if you're preparing to go to graduate school and you want to get some perspective into how to maybe choose an advisor, how to prepare for the physics GRE, or while submitting your applications, what you need to take care of. So yeah, this should be a good read for all who are trying to do this.